Before that, Juan, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us today. Tomorrow marks the return of Decision Day in the NWSL, as I mentioned, and there's so much to play for across the league, including for Gotham, who is looking to clinch fourth and a potential home playoff spot. So if you could just open up with your expectations for tomorrow's match against North Carolina, and then if you could talk a little bit as well about Decision Day and the excitement of what it brings with every team or almost every team playing at once on the final day of the regular season.
Yeah, well, I think the first is obviously fantastic game tomorrow here in North Carolina. I think there's gonna be a fantastic atmosphere that's gonna prepare us really well for the next week with the playoffs. I think they've got a sold out crowd, so congrats to them. That's something we all love to see, whatever it is in our ground or somewhere else. So that's something we're very excited about. And then about the season there, I think I've been in the league now for a few years. I've seen both sides, and this is definitely how it should be. I think now teams having competitive advantages, knowing what they need to do, and that excitement of keeping an eye on what's happening everywhere for the fans is something very special. I think knowing how this league is and how tight everything is, I think it's clever to arrange it like that at the beginning of the year because there is always something to play for on this last fixture, and it's a lot of work that go into the year, and sometimes it can feel, that it can be jeopardized if a team already knows that maybe instead of winning needs a draw or situations like that. So yeah, I think I think it definitely is something very positive from the league that they've done a great job, no?
Great. Anthony, you have your hand up. You can get us started.
Morning, coach. Last few games, three overall, you've only scored two goals, but the offense really seemed to get going against Racing Louisville last time out. What do you see in the offense, and how do you think that they're improving heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, well, I think I see the team, we're happy with how we are creating those chances. We're creating chances on set pieces, on open play after longer possessions in transitions. Sometimes it's the final details, but like I think we've had one thing that spoke a lot at the beginning of the year is more people adding to the scoreboard. Obviously, last game was Rose and Jalen Howard, two forward midfielders, adding to that tally, I think despite not having a stare regularly lately, like the team is still finding the back of the net. I think Katie's been great. Obviously, probably, like she will have wanted to score more goals, but she's doing a fantastic job with it. And then the same with, Mitch, Jade, and everyone is really, for me, doing a really good job to create. Now it's a question of making sure that we can be maybe more clinical, but then also securing. We know that when we have a clean sheet as a team, we go out have much bigger chance to win. No, so I think that's for us something that we haven't got the last couple of games, and we praise a lot ourselves on, and I want to make sure that we go into the playoffs with hopefully another clean sheet. No.
Anthony, you could go ahead with another question.
Cool, I'll keep asking. So the road form this year has been really solid. You have more wins away from Sports Illustrated Stadium than there. What is it about the confidence in your team going away from home and the structure that you put in place that you feel really prepares them for being on the road?
Well, as you said, no, I think we are second or third in the league in terms of away from home. I think maybe the strength comes from the preparation, being away from home. The players spend a lot of time together. Everyone is really focused on the game. I think the vibes and the connection that the players have between themselves, the connection with the staff is very good. So maybe it's that I don't really know. Also in the Sports Illustrated Arena, unfortunately, we have like a period of the year where I think it was we had three home games, and now we can talk about it like, and the pitch was horrible to play on, so that really didn't help us. We didn't win any of those three games, and that probably also had an impact in our total form of the year. I think it probably you had those three games where we really couldn't. The pitch was really unplayable to the style and the standard that we play, and that maybe was also part of why maybe, because it's 4 or 5 points, maybe the more that we could have go. And sometimes it's also down to football. The beauty of football is sometimes you create your own luck, but there are certain moments, like that you need them to go your way or go against you. That's the beauty of this game. Is you never know what's going to happen, especially on this league. and maybe away from home we've been able to find those moments a bit more than at home, no? So yeah, those could be things, but I think the performances of the team, we put some very good performances, like for example the last game against Louisville. No, like I think we dominated the game, we created all sorts of chances, we hit the crossbar twice, we put them under pressure, and then we were very unfortunate in both of the goals. So sometimes it is football, no?
Juan, I'll throw one at you before we throw it back to Anthony.
Okay, go on,
Result.
Cole. Throw one at me.
Yeah. A statistical one for you, as we love to talk about. A result on Sunday, meaning a draw or a win, would give Gotham its second highest ever point total in club history. Obviously, only trailing last season's very successful and record-breaking season. I guess what does that say about your team, who's brought in so many new faces over the course of a year, and as we've mentioned before, dealing with injuries throughout the season to some very high-profile players, to still be able to perform at a high level and find success throughout a season?
Yeah, I think it's kind of the reason why we are here. No, we came to Gotham 3 years ago. Not only me, with Sean, with Ag, with a few of the coaches that joined us in this adventure, and we wanted with Jael and the rest of the staff and the players to create something new, to make sure that Gotham was recognized for a playing style and for being able to achieve certain results. I think being for the third time in a row in the playoffs, and as you said, no, obviously last year we got more points than this one, but I still would like this year probably being, in terms of regular season, the second best year in the history of the club. I think we won. I think we've been able to change the view of how other clubs see Gotham and the fans around America and around the world. And I think that that being said, we are also at the same time a bit disappointed because we wanted to be, higher up in the table. We wanted to win. We wanted to, and sometimes it's also important to look a little bit with perspective. And as you said, no, I think yesterday I was actually doing the numbers, because then I talk to you guys and I get lost. But like, we have changed, I think it's 15 players from last year to this year. There's only 10 or 11 players from that team that you mentioned, that it was a breaking record season, and it's obviously difficult, that adaptation. I think also you actually co-facilitated some stat. I think after 10 games we were 10th in the league, but the last 15 games we are second in the league if you take only those points, no? So I think it's also that period of adaptation is something that we knew we were going to have to go through. And credit to the players and the staff. I think we've got to a point where the players know what is their level and the expectation, what they can achieve when they are all at the maximum. And I think we all can go together and achieve big things, starting tomorrow, obviously.
Anthony, back over to you.
Yeah, so last one for me. Just a message to the fans who've been there all year. How important is it as a motivation for you and for this club to not only get the win, but to be able to play a home playoff game against those fans that have been there all year?
Yeah, I think I really want to thank them. I think that for us to be able to play that playoff home game, it will be a reward for them. I think they've been absolutely incredible all year, home and away. Like in a lot of the games we see our sections of Gotham, wherever we go now in the country, and they've given so much to us. We've had two fantastic fun connection days where we were able to meet a lot of our season ticket holders. They are really passionate, and we are as passionate as they are. They are the reason why we do our job, and we would love to be able to get that win, and hopefully the other results go with us, and we can play a playoff home game in front of them, with them, because that's the beauty of playing at home. No, it's not that you play just in front of them, you play the game with them. And for us, that will be really, really special. I can guarantee you, the players that we've been here the last couple of weeks, they've work incredibly hard to make sure they are ready. Like I was talking yesterday to the Americans that just returned, or the people that was playing in Europe, they all really were looking forward to come back here to play for Gotham, to make sure that we can get that playoff home game in front of our fans. So yeah, I think it will be really, really special now.
Juan, I've got one more, and then Sean, I know you just joined. If you have any questions, you can use the raise hand function on Zoom, and we'll be able to call on you. But Juan, just going back to the matchup against North Carolina. Obviously, we faced the Courage earlier this season, and I believe it was our first win of the regular season against them. But it was under different leadership in Sean Nahas. Now under Nathan Thackeray, their interim head coach. Are there any noticeable differences you've seen from North Carolina since the coaching change? And are there any differences that you'd expect to see? Are there any changes that you'd expect to see from maybe the matchup earlier this season to this season and how they approach the game?
Yeah, I think Sean did an amazing job with North Carolina. Since I came here, I was always a big fan of the style, and he was how one thing that now is a lot more recognizable in the NWSL, and I think it's in big credit to them to him is how teams have more of a style. I think in the my first two or 3 years here, or a couple of years, it was like teams were still changing pretty much a lot between games. I think now most of the teams have a recognized the style, and that's thanks to people like Sean that really installed something in North Carolina. I think with Nathan they've done a good job. So obviously, good kudos to him. I think they've just changed a little bit the way they do certain things. Also, they've had certain players that are very important in their system that when they are playing like Dennis O'Sullivan, I think it's one of the best midfielders in the league for me. Probably somebody that doesn't get the recognition that she deserves because she's an outstanding player. And obviously, when she's not around or she's not been, obviously the team has done certain things different. I'm expecting her to, after playing with Ireland, to play tomorrow. So I think it's been slight. There are some slight differences, but there's still a very dangerous team. No, they reinforced the back line with Natalie, who's obviously someone I know well and respect, very good defender. Now, obviously, Manaka is doing a great job. We will see, but we also have some tools there, and it's hopefully an exciting game ahead. No.
Awesome. Sean, I see you have your hand up. We have time for about one more question. So if you want to throw yours out, you can go ahead.
Hi, Coach. I apologize if it was asked earlier.
All good, Sean.
Just
All good.
going into this match against North Carolina in an atmosphere that's a sold out atmosphere and a team with so much on the line in North Carolina, is this really the perfect opportunity to prepare your players for a playoff like atmosphere?
Yeah, obviously we didn't plan for it, but obviously we would love to come here, knowing that that a win will give us the playoff home game. But unfortunately, we just need to wait for other people. But one thing that has been outstanding is the fact that they got a sold out crowd. Credit to them. No, I think it's something that wherever is at home with us or any other stadium is something that we really appreciate. I think the players are very excited to play in front of all those fans. The atmosphere is going to be great, and it's definitely going to be something that hopefully preparing us for a playoff home game, but it could be also an away game that, it's really different environment, no? Like the communication between me and the players is different. Between the players, everything you do has a much bigger emotion if you want with the crowd is bigger, no? So yeah, I think it's something very special, and I think it's something that it really definitely can help us to prepare for the playoffs.